All right, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 8th, 2014, and it is a beautiful 72 degrees after a rough start to this morning with some thunderstorm and lightning, some massive effects. Give me 1 second. We're having problems getting everybody connected here this morning, but we're probably going to dial out and dial back in and see what we can do here. But technical difficulties, we'll get it. We're working on it. Give us a second here. It's a little too early for mechanical stuff this morning. All right, sorry about all this, everyone. We are trying to figure this out as we go, but for some reason we cannot get our guest into the show. It keeps it will not merge the two calls for some reason. So, anyways, our guest this morning was D.S. Edwards. He's going to try and call back here in a moment and see if we can redo this, but see if we can get it to work right. But he wrote a book called Collective Retribution, which I'm very excited. All right, sorry about all this, everyone. We are trying to figure this out as we go, but for some reason we cannot get our guests into the show. It keeps, it will not merge the two calls for some reason. All right, we're going to try something here.
Okay, we're going to try this. I am going to go grab Lori so that she can continue to do her show, and we're going to see if the call-in line will work, doing it through the network. Good morning, Lori. Hello, Lori. There she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, now have your friend call back, and we'll see if it'll work through the network now.
Okay.
I have set the phones to receive normally, and I will go ahead and mute up, and when he calls, I'll add him in for you.
And you can stay on and talk if you want to. Jeez. Well, good morning, anyways.
Good morning. Sorry you were having all the train wreck issues, but
no problem.
We'll try to get the last 45 minutes done.
No problem. It just wouldn't merge together for some reason.
Okay. Well, we're live in 5, so hopefully
he calls back.
Yeah, he'll ring back in here.
And it's 5 o'clock in the morning there. He got up at 4:30 for this.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, if we didn't have technical difficulties on UCY, it wouldn't be the network, so this is just the way things roll.
Yeah, I guess.
So what are you guys going to talk about today?
His book.
Nice.
British message not available voicemail is what he said.
Shouldn't be. I have set the phones to receive normally. So.
Do we have a British message?
Well, it's probably just the
Skype.
Yeah, it's the Skype voice. But everything is set up, so have him keep trying. And we'll...
He keeps calling, but he said he gets voicemail.
Should not be.
JJ is asking you.
I just did it, JJ. I redid the phones again. Everything's cool. So we'll sit here and wait, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have his number?
Yeah, the number he dialed in on.
We might be able to. I don't know if I can do that or not. Call him. and add him into the call. I don't know if Jules has that on this network, on the network though. Ringing voicemail, he said. Yeah, I don't know what's going on now because I've got the phone set. I will go do it one more time. Forward, send a voicemail, receive normally. There we go. They are set again.
How about if I... 1 minute, yes.
That's all I can tell you. Keep trying to call back into the show, and we will eventually get you on the air, I hope, so that you can continue.
Are we on live right now?
Yes, we are. The counter
good morning.
Running.
Oh, that's lovely. Have we been the whole time?
Yeah, absolutely. Since I connected with you, we're running live, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Ringing, he says, in the chat room, and then we've got a 30-second delay here, so obviously nothing has popped up on my screen, so the call is not hitting the network.
Oh, is it the storms that went through? Because, the ones that just hit here in Indy about an hour ago were pretty bad.
We had some come through this morning, too, about 5 o'clock. I had to run outside and close my truck.
That's probably the ones right before we got ours.
We weren't supposed to get any rain through here for the next 2 days, but I woke up to lightning and thunder and the inside of my car wet. Or my truck, I mean. So.
Yeah, our neighbor guy did that one time, but, we just kind of laughed about it and took pictures.
Well, it wasn't full of water. I don't have anything standing on the floorboards or anything. I got out there pretty quick. I mean, the ground had just started getting soaking wet, so it wasn't too bad. I'm glad I covered my boat up, though, because I cleaned it yesterday. See, he's still calling in and getting voicemail. I don't know what's going on. Jules was in front of the computer a little while ago, but I don't imagine she is now.
I could try and, I could take my headphones off and call the phone and put him on speakerphone.
I don't know if that'll work or not. Kramer said that they were having troubles yesterday.
Well, anyways, he wrote this book.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and talk about it.
Called Collective Retribution. It's a really good book, actually. Had to stop a few times because it's, I'm not sure exactly when he wrote it. I'm trying to look here real fast. It looks like 2013, possibly. But he parallels pretty well with what's going on in the news right now. I don't want to give away too much, but basically some nukes with some EMPs were set off in strategic places across the United States. And we got invaded and fought to take the country back. But a lot of people waited until these enemies, these terrorists, decided to, come step foot on United States soil and sorry, I'm reading at the same time. It's too early for this. I just feel bad for DS because we can't get him in here.
I told him. I said, it's not your fault. It's just issues.
Are we going to have... He's supposed to be back tonight to play Conflicted with us. Do you think we'll have problems then, too, or...
I am not the amazing Kreskin. I could not...
Oh, yes, you are.
I don't know. I mean, after we complete the show here and Jules might try something, I don't think she's coming on live today. Well, today's Tuesday. It is her live day, isn't it? Or is it Wednesday? When she goes solo. But I don't know. She might mess with it. And...
Yeah, DS, you might as well go take a nap. Sorry. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Maybe we can tape something through the week, and she can just play the tape for it somewhere. And we'll go from there, and we'll work on it today and make sure that you can get in this evening to play some Conflicted with us.
We apologize. Sometimes we cannot control the NSA and their little fish.
But, okay, well, so he's got this book. We had EMPs go off around the country. It's written from the perspective of someone within the government who has a ranch. And, but definitely parallels what's going on in the news right now. So
kind of scary, huh?
Yeah, no, a little concerned about, and he brings this up in the book about, if we were infiltrated here in the United States, would people, those in the know, back off and just go about their lives until they were forced to take a stand, as opposed to doing it earlier.
Proactively, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to get out the creeps. And I do believe we've been infiltrated in this country. I think maybe he was a little, dropping some premonition on us when he wrote the book. But
well, he does mention the fact that it's prophetic, and it's on the back cover here. Quite honestly, it's possible, especially when we're seeing stuff coming across the border right now that nobody seems to be able to stop.
Right. What's with all the diseased kids? I mean, why didn't we hear about all these diseased kids when they were still back in their home countries? Why didn't the World Health Organization say anything about it back then? 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, years ago.
And how did they get all the way through Mexico with all these diseases and stuff to get through the border up here?
Right. And why are we shipping them all over the United States instead of back to where they came from?
Yeah.
Because they're going to like 10 different states
I know
now.
A lot of people are alarmed. Yeah, a lot of states are standing up and saying, no, we don't want this. And we saw yesterday where we had troops going in and arresting people for standing up for what we believe in.
Right.
When a community says, no, I don't want this, does that give the government the right to step in and say, I'm sorry, you're doing it anyways?
Obviously, or evidently, because that's exactly what's happening. And every time we speak our opinion on anything that comes out of Capitol Hill, i.e., Obamacare, I think 2/3 of this country did not want Obamacare implemented, and they went ahead and did it anyway. So that's, they just ignore us, I guess. Now we're just the sheep that keep working and paying taxes so that the government can keep doing whatever they wish. Is that about the way it breaks down?
Well, I think this is waking more and more people up.
Oh, yeah. They're getting tired of this shit.
Yeah, yeah. And we've got the argument on both sides, and I've seen it in the prepper community, too, with these kids coming across. It's like, where's your heart? And it's like, what are you talking about? Yes, I feel bad that these kids are sick, but first of all, it's my duty to protect my family to begin with. And if you think this is bad, let's talk harsh reality when shit does hit the fan.
Well, let's let them go stay at Bill Gates' house because it's his vaccination programs that are causing all of this.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've already connected those dots. So if they need to stay somewhere, he's got a huge-ass house up there in Seattle. Let them go stay there. That's the way I see it. I mean, I didn't make them sick. Why are they coming here to get health care? Why don't we send all our health care down there where they're at and keep it contained? It's like the Ebola virus, right? They didn't do anything about it when it showed up in Guyana. Now look, it's spreading all over the place. They're telling people in Europe to start looking for people on the planes with it. They're saying that it's uncontainable now.
Yeah, I mean, I posted a story yesterday about in Great Britain, and it was a little push in the facts there with the headline, and I understand that because they were like, oh, I forget exactly what the headline said. I'll go check it here in a minute. But people were like, well, that's misleading. And it's like, you need to wake up because misleading or not, reality is this thing is ugly and it's going to spread whether you want it to or not.
Right. You're not going to stop it. This is a super virus. It was developed in a lab. It wasn't just naturally occurring. And it's going to kill a lot of people before it's done.
What is it, 90% mortality rate that it has?
They've dropped it down to, the WHO is saying it's down to 70% now. But
still, 70%?
Yeah, that's 7 out of 10. So look around your house. If there's 10 people in your house, guess what? And this is not going to take years and years and years to do it either. It's only going to take months.
So why is all of this stuff coming to a head right now? I mean, we're getting it from all sides. We've got the Ebola. We've got these kids coming across the border, and Lord knows if they don't have Ebola. I mean, honestly, we don't know. They were talking about TB yesterday.
And scabies and,
yeah,
all kinds of different stuff. So, and there's more than just the Ebola out there too. And these kids, there's a whooping cough outbreak occurred in California this year, and
Sacramento. Yeah.
Stuff that we haven't seen for decades.
But all of a sudden making a virulent. It.
Whoops. Yeah. Okay. Sure. That's probably the reason that they're starting to spread, right? Because a lot of these vaccines contain live virus, and the live virus can just sit dormant in your body for a while and then decide one day, hey, here I am.
Well, the thing is, too, they need to understand, our immune system here is completely different than these people coming across the border. They're dealing with different diseases and stuff in South America where they come from.
Different environment, different foodstuffs, different everything.
So they come up here, they're going to pick up anything that we have going on that we can normally fight against, and vice versa. They're going to bring us stuff that our bodies have no clue on how to handle. And until that happens, there's going to be a lot of sick, dead people up here. So is it, am I losing my humanity because I'm saying, we don't want these children? And why are they children and women to begin with? Well, it's been proven already that some of them aren't. We're talking gang members and stuff coming across the border with them. To me, it's just a smokescreen. They're caught up in the mess of this.
They caught, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
M13?
MS-13. Well, there's a lot of those already here anyway. And there's some in the Army, too. In all the military branches, there's gang members in all the military branches now. But they caught Ukrainian soldiers. There was 3 of them detained, I think it was in South Texas. Now, these guys were obviously soldiers. If you looked at their pictures that they posted online, I'll have to try to dig it up and send it to you if I can find it. They were well-dressed, well-built guys, fed well. I mean, these guys weren't, they weren't slackers. They weren't immigrants trying to make a better life for themselves. It was obvious they were coming over here to check the border, see how easy it was to get through. Blah blah blah. That's what I picked up anyway. I don't know.
Well, that and the prayer rugs that they're fighting from
and Qurans all over the desert. Yep.
Yeah, and in DS's book, he brings that stuff into play too, which is quite fascinating how he weaves it all together. But you figure if somebody's going to come in and infiltrate the United States, where are they going to come from?
Well,
we're going to spot them off the water.
Right, well, either through Canada or through Mexico. And Canada is a lot easier to get through than Mexico is, to be honest with you, because all the focus is on Mexico.
So if we went and got attacked, do you think Canada would step in?
Absolutely not. They're under the crown, and only if the crown told them to do anything. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They would play France.
Do you think...
They might amass some troops across the border to try to keep it from spreading into Canada, but no. If the U.S. came under invasion, no. I don't think they'd do a damn thing.
Do you think China would step in if Russia attacked us?
Yeah, they'd step in and help Russia. They're buddies. That's going to be the new world order right there. Well, not the new world order. Let me rephrase that. They are going to be the new world power for a while, because China's already surpassed us as the economic leader of the world, right? And they've got a shit ton of gold over there now. They're not telling anybody exactly how much they've got, but I guarantee it's over 10,000 tons. Yeah, well, no, most of ours went to Saudi Arabia back in the 80s because of oil and stuff. But it's going to be the paradigm is shifting from the United States. We're no longer going to be the be-all, end-all of human existence. People aren't going to flock to this country any longer because our dollar... And as a matter of fact, I've seen stories about that over the last couple of months, that there's a lot of Mexicans going back to Mexico. They're tired of it up here. They can't find a job worth of shit. They can't make any money, so they're going back. They might come over here for a couple of months in the summer to do some contract work and stuff, but they're not hanging out forever like they used to. I
know a lot of people that, go to Mexico, and it's quite gorgeous down there. You would stop and think, why would they come here to begin with, unless they're in,
depends on where you're at.
Yeah, Mexico City and
but
stuff
it's like
that.
walking through Detroit when you're down by the riverfront. It's really, really nice, and then you take a couple 100-yard walk back into the woods, or back into the distance, and it turns into a shit town. So, it's like that all over. We were talking about that last night, Lance and I, down in Brazil. If you're standing anywhere within 100 yards of the stadium, everything looks great. But if you walk 1,000 meters in any direction from that stadium where they're playing the World Cup, you're going to see what the town is really like, a rundown slum. All the money went into that stadium and all the surrounding facade.
Well, we saw that here in Indianapolis, quite honestly, when we had the Super Bowl here a couple of years ago. They pumped millions of dollars. I mean, we basically, if anything, broke even when we had the Super Bowl here, but because we pumped so much money into cleaning up, especially the east side, down 10th Street, because it was, prostitutes on the corner, drug deals just going on in the open. Every third house was boarded up. So they pumped all this. It was like
that decades ago when I lived in Beech Grove.
When we go running up into
town. Yeah, we go running up into town, and you hit second ward or third ward, and it was just trash.
Yeah, well, you should come see it, because they started all this work, and they did not get it finished before Super Bowl started, okay?
So all these people, undone.
It is so left undone. I had knee surgery right after the Super Bowl, so I was out of work for 6 months, and came back to work, and because that's my area that I oversee, and came back through, and it was unbelievable how it looked like they had just dropped everything and cut it and then just went on. It is so bad over there right now with crime. We just had, 2 police officers in Indianapolis this weekend get killed.
No kidding.
On top of everything else. Every day there's shootings going on and stuff. It's bad enough we don't have any police the way it is to clean things up, but when you get a couple more shot, it makes it even worse.
Yeah, who wants to take that job, right?
Yeah.
Except some super soldier or, Iraqi veteran that wants to go around and keep killing people. And that's what we're seeing. That's what the cops are turning into, is a bunch of, paid thugs. Biggest gang on the planet.
Well, I can tell you when my employee got shot and killed earlier this year, the detective told me they figured it was drug-related, so they didn't even bother to respond for half an hour.
Nice. Yeah, see, and, that's... I really honestly think the only time the police department should leave the station is when they're called. You know what I mean? They don't need to be out patrolling and trying to stop speeders and harassing the public, and if there's a problem, then call them, and then they, jump in the car and show up. Just like fire department.
I don't know.
Just like dog catcher.
When you were here, when you lived here, but they allow the police officers here to take their vehicles home with them.
Yep. They do here.
And they're all over the place, parked everywhere.
Yeah.
Does absolutely no good whatsoever other than waste gas.
Right. And wear and tear on the vehicles. You got to maintain them all the time. And, they caught Illinois state troopers. I can remember this back when I was a kid. They caught state troopers and their wives running to the grocery store in the squad car.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was free gas,
It's nothing to see a whole family in a car, and it desensitizes you to it,
right.
It's like, oh, is that guy on duty, or, geez, he's got kids in the back seat.
Yeah. Did you just arrest all of them? No, we're going to Disney World. Don't worry about the extra mileage.
I have friends that are police officers. Don't get me wrong. I know it would suck to have that job. But I think, too, that it's to the point where a lot of them are getting out of hand. I mean, you've seen the videos. I've seen the videos.
Yeah, they think they put that badge on and they carry that gun on their hip and they can just do whatever they want. They got all kinds of extra rights. We've been talking about that since the inception of this network.
Yeah.
Police departments and the crap that they're getting away with. And they're literally, I read the thing, I think it was Wednesday, the guy that wrote in to Steve Quayle and left him that big letter on his email, and Steve posted it. And he was talking about these police that are out there tasing your kids and shooting your dogs and beating your ass for nothing are the super soldier program. They've desensitized these guys, whether they were straight cops from the beginning or whether they were military that has, since come home and joined the police force or whatever, but they're all desensitized. Everybody that they come in contact with is some kind of criminal, and they are going to beat it out of you.
Yeah. I mean, we've even seen the targets because we do purchase targets being instructors.
Right.
And you can buy pregnant women, targets to shoot. What the
Women
hell is
standing
that?
there with their kids, old folks with walkers and guns, and people in wheelchairs with guns. And I posted a video yesterday on Facebook of the cop that tipped that paraplegic right out of his chair.
Yeah.
In the middle of the street.
And don't get me wrong, and DS brings this up in the chat room, the fact that there are constitutional sheriffs that are the exception, if they are.
There are few. And everybody that wants to stand out there and say, oh, there's good cops, I know good cops. Okay, I'm going to believe that there's good cops when those good cops start arresting the bad cops and not just standing by
and covering it up.
Get away with their shit. That's when you're going to be a good cop. You want to call yourself a good cop, then you better go start arresting some of your brothers.
There was a guy that was arrested here, I think, I'm not sure where he was at. I want to say Washington, Oregon, somewhere out west. Mm-hmm. But he was prostituting his wife out, and he was on steroids, and he had that whole steroid rage thing going on. And
he was a cop?
Yeah.
Prostituting his wife. Nice guy. Bet his parents are real proud of him.
She was on Craigslist with a Craigslist ad for her services.
Nice.
And this is a well-known guy within, the shooting circle and stuff. But, they start getting steroids pumped into them so they can get the mass build up. They don't understand how it affects their hormones. And, before long, they're just angry people.
They're not people anymore.
True.
I don't consider someone that would trick their wife out to be a person, not a human. That's just something different to me. I don't know. There's we're running across this so much too. The loss of humanity in the population all over. I mean, it's not just here in the States. It's everywhere you're looking. The loss of humanity. People just don't care anymore.
Why? What do you think that is? Is it just too much to be overwhelmed with?
I don't know if it's all the distraction or if it's just everybody's becoming introverted or the whole NIMBY thing. Remember back in the day we called it NIMBY, not in my backyard. So long as it doesn't happen in my little sphere of existence, I really don't care, right? Apathetic humans. They're only concerned about what they can get and what affects them, and if it happens on the other side of town, who cares? Yeah.
Let alone across the other side of the world.
Right. They only bitch at the street department if they've got a pothole in front of their driveway. They don't care about the downtown area. They don't go there that often. So long as they've got smooth roads from their home to work and McDonald's, they're great, right?
Oh, that's not even funny. Well, McDonald's is a bad word in my house.
Yeah, it is here too. All this. I'm getting so far away from what I used to be. It's not even funny. I'm not even the same person anymore. And even some of my friends tell me that. Some of my old time friends, my long time friends. So you're different, man. You're different. Something's different about you. Like, yeah, that's good. That means I don't fit in. I'm great.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people need to wake up and stop trying to fit in.
Yeah. The Borg is not the place to be. Don't want to be part of the collective.
Not part of being assimilated?
No. They got really cool outfits, but the whole shaving the head and putting tubes in, nah, I'm not for that. So did I derail your show a little bit, man? Are we talking about things that you didn't want to talk about? You want to get back to the book? I really want to. How big is this book? Where can we get it?
You can get it up on his site, and I'll track that down here in a minute. Nice. But let's see. We've got altogether 335 pages.
Wow.
I'm a pretty fast reader. It took me a couple days to get through it, but that's not reading full time. I was hit and miss here and there.
Now I want to know how long it took him to write 335 pages. DS,
maybe he can answer that in the chat room.
How long did it take you to write this book, DS? When did you sit down and start putting pen to paper or start tapping the keys?
But I can read, let's see, let me get the inside cover.
Okay.
Let's see here. He's got a quote from Abraham Lincoln. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves.
Ding, ding, ding.
What if everything America depends on for everyday life is suddenly taken away? Phones, electricity, automobiles. What will tomorrow bring? What will you eat? How will you get water? What will happen as your hunger and desperation grow? Will you turn against your neighbors, your friends, or will you work together to face the deadly challenges in everyday life? The United States of America is a nation on the brink of collapse, with high unemployment, religious extremism, partisan politics, and civil unrest mixed with the uncertainty of the global financial markets. It's just a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. Some countries are poised, troops at the ready, waiting for this day and the opportunity to seize it.
Nice. What's he saying? 1.5 years from start to final edit. 18 months. So he's been watching all this unfold as he was tapping it down on paper, kind of seeing what he was seeing on the news and alternative media, and then making his assumptions as to where it was going to go. And pretty prophetic, man. I mean, you're hitting it. So, what's the name of the book again?
Collective Retribution. And DS, if you can punch your website into the chat room there so everybody can find it. I've got it up on our Facebook page.
So you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, iTunes, almost everywhere. So, right on.
Where'd you see that at?
He just typed it in the room. Amazon, B&N, Kindle, iTunes, etc.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I missed that. Lady Pitbull, good morning. She took up
good morning, Wendy.
Couple spots there and kind of...
With her big smoochy face.
Yeah, her big smoochy face kind of distracted me from
follow him on Twitter at DS Edwards Author. He's got a Facebook, Collective Retribution, and collectiveretribution.com. So there you go.
But think about it. How many people freak out when they think if their power gets shut off for a couple hours because of a storm? I mean, totally freak out. A lot of them do.
You know what? I had my power go out the other morning in broad daylight. Clear blue, open sky. It was off for a half an hour. And that reiterated to me, okay, it's time to get this house wired into my solar. I'm tired of this crap. Storm rolls through, hail falling, tennis ball size hail we had one day. Got a dent in my truck from it, by the way.
Oh.
No, didn't lose power. But the other morning, clear blue sky, man, not even a chemtrail out, and poof, out it goes.
But that's just it. There are days that our electric could go out that I wouldn't even notice.
Right.
Because
I was outside, I didn't know. I went in to check on the Pockers, and the light was out. I was like, oh, crap, the bulb burned out. Nope, power was out.
Well, people are going to freak out. And, a lot of people don't, in his book, he's talking about nukes with EMPs that are set off. And he does bring into the fact that they do come up through Mexico and how that happens, which is quite interesting. But, these yuppie-type people out there are just going to freak out once they realize what's going on. But it's going to take them a while, so we have a little time to get prepared for that. But, you think back 100 years, we never even had electricity.
Right.
People lived, and people don't realize today that, geez, you can live without electricity. It's possible.
Well, and those are the cannon fodder. Those people are the cannon fodder that haven't decided to keep up with the times, or that have decided to keep up with the times and lose their history, lose their knowledge.
Grounding. Yeah. But he does go through, which is interesting because you don't see that in a lot of books. These kind of books is he goes through the peeling of the onion, if you want to call it that, the different layers of how things unfold after something like that. Because it's a known fact. If you follow Haiti or anything like that, after a down grid, certain people die off first, and then you've got a second layer that comes off, and a third layer, and he kind of goes into that in the book.
Depends on how your health, if you're healthy right at the set off of it, then you're going to last a lot longer. If you've got the knowledge, you're going to last a lot longer. But the unhealthy people, they're going to catch the diseases first because, the cholera and stuff breaks out when you lose water and water purification systems and sewage and all that. Those diseases start to emerge, and they take the weak first, and then the healthier ones last a little longer, but then they run out of food and they start to get weak, and then they fall off, and yeah, like you're saying, peeling the onion.
Yeah. So the more we learn from that, and that's why I post stuff up there. We watched what's going on in the Ukraine right now. We watched what happened in Haiti, in Greece. In any kind of downgrade situation, we can learn from how people migrate after a situation like that.
Yeah, what's happening in Ukraine right now, that is a crime against humanity.
And
the shelling of the eastern Ukraine. Yeah, and they're not saying anything. Where's our politicians standing up for, don't even get me started on that. We could go for another hour. But that's just the shelling of the innocent homes and villages, and it's heinous. I can't believe Putin's just sitting there letting it happen either.
Well,
but he's not. I think that's what they're trying to do, though. They're trying to suck him in. Yeah, suck him into start World War III, and he's not. Yeah, he's like, I don't want my name to go down in history like that. I'll let you people look like bastards.
Well, right now it looks like Israel's going to go into Gaza with ground offensives
again.
So are they
for what? For what? So they can grab up some more teenagers and beat the hell out of them?
So is that what it's going to take to get Putin involved, do you think? Or he'll just sit there and watch that too?
I don't know. We've got so many doors opening right now. The whole ISIS thing, and what direction do we go?
I think it's just IS now. I think they cut off the last.
The Israeli, or the Islamic State.
Islamic State.
They've caliphated part of Syria and part of Iraq, right? So they've made their own state now.
Well,
and
they're looking at
the Caliph came out with his $3,000 watch on the other day that was like designed after James Bond watch on one of the movies.
Yeah, I saw that. What the hell is that about?
He started getting a bunch of hate mail from a lot of the Islamic community. Like, yeah, you're preaching all this hating of Western culture, and what do you got a $3,000 watch hanging on your wrist when you're standing up there talking?
Hey, all the bad guys have to have downtime now and again. So we know, obviously, he's watched every James Bond movie out there.
And he's obviously got an eBay account, right? So that's probably where he went and got it. Found it on eBay and went and bought it. Yeah.
So he's got a home address somewhere he shipped it to.
Right. So, that ought to be a wide open, awake moment for the Islamic community, that all of your so-called caliphs and it's just a joke. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at you while you send them your money.
Or was it a gift from someone?
But you're supposed to reject that, right? Isn't that part of Islam? You're supposed to reject the Western culture and
I don't know.
Yeah. So he should have took that watch and threw it back in their face, right?
I guess it depends on who they're working for.
Yeah, it depends on if it's really cool, man. That watch was really cool.
But they're threatening, 15,000 troops to go into Jordan now. They've talked about taking back Spain, parts of Spain.
Please. We're watching it unfold right before our eyes, girl. We've been saying this for, over a year now. These are interesting times to be alive.
Yeah, and everybody just sits there now and still watches the World Cup. And, a block away from where the World Cup is going on, people are dying and living in trash. And
yeah, the houses with walls gone. The whole wall of this one dude's shop. I saw a picture I posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago, I think. And, he's in there cutting the dude's hair. The guy's sitting in the chair, but the wall is missing off of the building.
How would you feel if you had to move from your home just to put a road through for this thing? I mean, thousands of people were displaced because they were building roads to get into this thing.
They didn't move. They were moved.
Yeah. They didn't have a choice in the matter.
Right.
All for money.
And where's all that money going to go? It's going to go to the higher-ups. It's going to go to the people that built the stadium and put it on. It's not going to go to the people.
Oh, no, not at all.
They were protesting that from the word go. I thought they were going to get the job done, too. They were like, we're not going to let this occur. We're not going to let the World Cup happen. And they, if they hadn't started killing them, I imagine, because they did. They shot quite a few. I think they shot 7 or 8 protesters when they had that one kerfluffle right there at the opening ceremony.
But nobody cares.
No.
They just want to watch the show. It's like
ESPN didn't give a shit. They didn't.
Move it out of the way. We had streets blocked off in Indianapolis thousands of people downtown watching this thing. No, they were watching it, partying in the streets.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. What next? You know, Lance and I talk about this all the time too. What's the next shoe? Is it going to be these kids bringing all these diseases over the border? Are we going to start having mass outbreaks in different areas across the country?
Honestly, you need to be ready for that in your neck of the woods. I mean, really, you need to have your medical preps up and ready for this to be able to combat. Get yourself healthy. First of all, get off the sugar and the white starches and all that. Give your immune system something that it can fight with. We neglect that. We talk about all the time. You got to have Band-Aids and all that, but get your immune system fixed first.
Yep.
Get your iodines and stuff like that.
Learn holistic medicine. Learn naturopathy. Because the doctors aren't going to be around, and if they are around, they're going to be overwhelmed, so overwhelmed with the people flooding into the hospitals and stuff. The medicines are going to go away quick.
Last place you want to go is to a hospital.
Yeah.
Learn how to cure just, normal, everyday kind of stuff, and then take it a step further. But, man, if your med preps aren't up right now, you need to do a wiggle and get them ready, because you're going to be in short supply here pretty soon once these kids start getting into these communities.
Yep.
And from what I understand, with the connections I have, the news doesn't even come close to how bad it is down there. We heard the news report that they were threatened, the health professionals were threatened to keep their mouths shut.
Yeah.
I can tell you that word on the street is that they don't even come close to telling the actual truth down there.
No, and what's with the brown shirts? Those guys that called themselves the brown shirts, the security guys that were going around threatening the doctors. Don't say anything. Don't say anything about all this. Are we really that far gone? Are we in the communist Gestapo running around telling you what to do and what to say? And I mean, seriously?
I mean, all the players are in place. I think it's just a matter of pulling back the rest of the curtain.
Oh yeah, DHS is all across the country. They're primed and ready. They're just sitting there waiting for the.
And how many of these MRAPs and stuff have been shipped out to communities now?
Over 4,000.
Everything's
over 4,
in place.
4,000 armored vehicles and 300 and some odd MRAPs. Another 600 and some odd armored vehicles, just regular armored vehicles like Hummers with the armored doors and hoods, and plus, what is it? 38 states have authorization to use silenced weapons against the citizenry.
Yeah.
In an uprising. So, watch for guys in ghillie suits too.
So, is it the foreign countries we have to worry about, or our own?
I think it's our own right off the bat. I think that the blue hats won't come in until our country knows, our government knows that they just don't have it.
Our country just going to hand us over to them anyways.
Well, good luck to them.
Well, if we go into the one world government, why wouldn't they?
I'll be a separatist. Thank you. Last couple of minutes. What else you got?
Interesting times we have ahead. DS, big apology for not being able to get you on, and for you getting up at 4:30 this morning. Totally sucks for you, but we'll work on it this afternoon to try and get you back on 11 o'clock tonight, because the man has a lot to say about what's going on, I can tell you that. But go check out his book, Collective Retribution. CollectiveRetribution.com. You can check him out on Facebook, too. But very good read. It's like reading the headlines, quite honestly, and how it all could unfold.
Gives you something to try to sleep at night.
Oh,
keep the mind going while you. I just finished chapter 40 and I can't go to sleep now.
Sleep is so overrated,
That's true.
No, I did get woken up quite early this morning with the storms that went through, because it was pretty impressive. So I don't know if that had interfered with Skype this morning, or the NSA had nothing better to do than screw around with us. Who knows?
Well, I know when Jules, yesterday, she contacted me and said that her computer and network went, down for no apparent reason. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. She was still on the road, though, so it was just her laptop and stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. I reckon that she'll try to get it going.
Yeah, we might, since we had trouble with
She doesn't have
dial-up.
anything else to do.
Yeah, we'll try and get him, see if we can get him up on Skype, maybe, and see if we can make the connection easier that way.
Yeah, well, if he's on dial-up internet, Skype's going to suck so many resources, he won't be able to even talk. You know, it'll take the connection, but you won't hear it.
His concern was.
Yeah.
He's out in the middle of nowhere, so.
It'd be better just to do the call-in tonight. I'll make sure the phones are forwarded to you. And maybe you can do the 718-717-8296. So, anyhow.
So.
Finish your show.
Oh, shoot. Everything is so screwed up right now. But big thanks to the chat room, people in the chat room for being here this morning. And we'll work something out so we can get Diaz back on the show so he can talk about his book, because I think it's very important. I honestly think these kind of books are part of the prep that a lot of people miss, because it will open your eyes. It's what brought a lot of people into the prepping world. You know, Patriots and, 1 second after and Lights Out, and G. Michael Hoff's books, and now this one, checked around, found a few females out there that write the same kind of books, but not very many at all. So definitely bring a new insight into everything. That's for sure.
It's going to get bigger and bigger. People, like we said earlier, people are starting to wake up. They're getting tired of the crap.
But man, they got to wake up faster, because things are full steam ahead, it seems like, every day in the news.
Yeah.
But work on your med preps specifically. You guys need to really focus in on that. And, like. There
we go. Sorry I couldn't help you out, Lori.
No problem. Have a good day.
Everybody stay tuned. After the last card, the fourth Coast Cup is next. Wait until UCY.tv.